Hope the day is treating you well and swell. We get ready to get into it. Why people think the grass is greener when dealing with a chosen one. Not in the sense of, you know, they're dealing with a chosen one. Now they think the grass is greener. No. Why is it that when people get with the chosen one, they feel like the grass is greener somewhere else? That's what we're talking about. How people fumble a chosen one. That's what we're getting into. Because if you're a chosen one, you've been fumbled. You've been fumbled. I know you've been fumbled. All chosen ones, all earth angels, we've been fumbled. We knew we was a blessing in somebody's life. You know, God put us in somebody's life. And everything was good. Everything was smooth. And all of a sudden, boom, something happening. No longer, no more. And it was something simple, you know. A lot of people will fumble you. But why do people fumble chosen ones? Why do people think the grass is greener on the other side when they deal with chosen ones? The first thing is some people just have a lack of awareness. You know, some people have grown up or been raised to not understand what real loyalty, real love, real respect is. But a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people can't understand what a blessing is. Some people think a blessing is something fictional. They can't recognize the blessing. So when they come across a blessing, they don't understand how to cherish the blessing. See? So when you came across in these people's lives, they didn't know how to handle you. So if you don't know how to handle something, guess what? You're going to mishandle it. It's like you come across some kind of precious antique or something like that. And you don't understand that this antique is vintage, is valuable. You know, you don't understand that. You just see a piece of furniture. So you treat that piece of furniture anyhow, anyway. You get rid of it. You know, you say, oh, this is an old piece of furniture. Not knowing it's kind of Louis XIII furniture or some kind of, you know, old Victorian furniture or something like that, you know. You think it's just a regular chair or a regular sofa, and it's really worth $50,000, $60,000, $100,000. But you just throw it out. You give it to Goodwill. You know, you don't treat it properly. That's because you couldn't recognize that was worth. It was valuable. You couldn't recognize it. And that's the same way people treat chosen ones, to be honest with you. That's the same way. It's people could not recognize that you was a blessing. They couldn't recognize the love that you was giving out, the loyalty that you had, the respect that you was giving out. They couldn't recognize that. People just can't recognize it. Sad to say, but that's the truth. So when people can't recognize it, guess what? They see other things that make them happy or get them excited, and they go over there. That's why they think the grass is greener on the other side. Why? Because they couldn't recognize the blessing that you were. Sorry to say it. Another reason why people think the grass is greener on the other side when they're dealing with chosen ones is some people can see that you're a blessing, but they have certain blockages. What's up, Norma? How you doing? What's up, Alexander? What's good with you? How y'all doing? You see, some people self-sabotage when they're with you. Again, some people self-sabotage because they feel like they're not worthy. Or some people have too much trauma going on in their life to really take in the blessing that a chosen one is in their life. This is just really true. Some people feel like they're not worthy enough. Some people weren't raised with the self-confidence. Some people weren't raised to know how to deal with a blessing. Some people just weren't raised to know that. Some people feel like they are not good enough in life. They're not good enough to have you in their life. You know, it's almost like a regular guy is dating a supermodel, but he doesn't understand or can't cope with the fact that he's good enough, but he just sees this supermodel and puts her on a pedestal. So guess what happens? He self-sabotages it because he can't recognize who he is. Likewise, Sky. Likewise. Hope you have a blessed day as well. So people can't recognize themselves as being good enough. So what do? They self-sabotage situations. They self-sabotage relationships. I know I've seen this, and I know I'm pretty sure you've seen this as well. Everything can be going smooth, but deep down inside, people have insecurities that they have not dealt with. People have traumas from growing up that they have not dealt with. And instead of them dealing with it properly in order to continue with this blessing that you are in their life, guess what they do? They self-sabotage. They go over to go mess with. Okay, let me put it like this. They know you're a good person. They know you're an excellent person, a swell person. They know you're a blessing. And you wonder why they leave you and go mess with somebody who's not going on anywhere in life, who doesn't challenge them, who doesn't heal them, who doesn't help them. You wonder why they go do that. It's because they feel like they're not worthy enough to deal with you. It's because they see that you're on a pedestal higher than they are. That's just how people view themselves. It's not really true, but it's just how people view themselves. When they look in the mirror, they don't see that they equate enough. So it's cool with them dealing with you. It's cool if they want to be with you. Yeah, that's all cool and all, but when it comes down to it, in the middle of the night, they feel like they're not worthy. They feel like they're not good enough. They can't see their intrinsic values. They can't see how worthy they are. So they go with people who don't challenge them. They go with people who don't make them feel uncomfortable. They go with people who don't make them feel some type of way about themselves. It's funny, but as a chosen one, you make people feel self-conscious. Again, you make people feel self-conscious. You make people look in the mirror too much. They don't like that. Whether they do it knowingly or unknowingly, people don't like that. People don't like that they don't feel good enough, adequate enough when they deal with you. That's why they go deal with people who don't make them feel inadequate. They deal with people who don't make them challenge. That's why they deal with people who don't challenge them. Because they're comfortable. And see, chosen ones, you're not even trying to make people feel uncomfortable. A lot of times you try to make people feel more comfortable around you. You try to cater to people. Sometimes you dim your light to have people around. And some people can't recognize that. But even when you dim your light and have these people around, guess what? It's still not good enough. Why? Because people have to do the internal work. So if people don't do the internal work, guess what? They're going to go somewhere else. That's just the fact of the matter. Another reason why people think the grass is greener with a chosen one. Yeah, they know you're a blessing. Yeah, they recognize you. But guess what? Those around them, their friends, family members, they don't know who you are. Again, they don't know who you are. And sometimes certain people are too trapped into what other people think in order to deal with you. See, chosen ones, you're different. You're a different person. You're a different breed. You're different. You're not like everybody else. So when people get to talking about you, people you're dealing with get to talking about you to their family members, their friends, whatever the case may be, and they talk about how you're so different, people would discourage them from dealing with you. Again, people would discourage them from dealing with you. Why? Because certain people are jealous. That's one side of the coin. And the other side of why people would discourage them is because they'll tell you that you fake. Again, that was discouraging them, saying that you are not really who you are. Again, some people will say that you too good for them, or some people will say that you fake. What's up, Pookie? How you doing? Pookie Eve. So, people tune in too much to what other people think, what other people feel, instead about how they think and how they feel about themselves and their situation that they're in. So that's why they leave chosen ones. That's why they go to the other side. It's that simple. It's really, really that simple. People listen too much to what other people talk about and what other people feel about their situation instead of how they feel about their own situation. So yeah, they love dealing with you. Yeah, they want to deal with you. Yeah, they want to be with you. But guess what? Their friends and their family think otherwise. And they care too much about what their friends and their families think more than what they feel and think and how they want to live their life. Sad thing. So what do? They deal with people who makes their family comfortable. Who don't, and that's really true. It's almost like an interracial relationship, You have two people who are from two different cultures, two different races, whatever the case may be. And somebody's afraid, like they're deeply in love, madly in love, but one person feels like their family's not going to accept them. So what do? They leave them alone. And they go deal with somebody who is in their race or their culture so their family can accept them. But deep down inside, they want to be with the other person. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they think, quote unquote, the grass is greener on the other side. Not necessarily being with that person, but they think the grass is greener by their family accepting them. Whatever the case, they may need their family acceptance, So they feel like it's better for their family to accept them than to disapprove of them. And that's the way that they choose to live their life. It has nothing on you. It just really shows how powerful you are, that you can make people make these type of life decisions and at that type of point in their life, if that makes sense, Is it fun to be in that position? No, but it just shows you how much power that you have. It just really shows who you really are as a person. And don't think that you would never be in these people's minds or these people. Never think that, like, just because people chose to think the grass is greener on the other side, that people don't think about you. Trust me, people think about you. Even if they feel like they can do better and they go outside, and deal with somebody else, or even if they feel like they're not good enough, whatever, you always on these people's minds. Again, you are always on these people's minds. Always. Just think about if you had a lottery ticket and you fumbled it, or you had a lottery ticket and you just let it blow in the wind. You're going to always think about that winning lottery ticket. Always. You're going to always think about it. So it's the same way with these people. Just because they fumbled you, don't think that they don't miss you. Don't think that they don't think about you. They do. Trust me, they really do. And the last one, why people think the grass is green on the other side when they're dealing with a chosen one, is because of their ego. Again, their ego, ego. See, what happens is when people get with a chosen one, a lot of people might not be doing too good. Again, like I say, I always say this. As chosen ones, we're brought to be a blessing in people's lives. Certain people can't recognize that. Some people do, some people don't. So what happens is these people might be hitting on like a 4, 5, or 6 or something like that. You know, we're talking about a scale out of 10. Not talking about their attractiveness. This does play a part, but we just say altogether overall they're hitting on a 4, 5, or 6, right? Now you come into their life. Now they're hitting on a 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just say 8, 9, 10 now. Boom. They went from a 4, 5, 6 to an 8, 9, 10. Boom, just like that. Because the energy that you brought into their life. Now these people get the what? The big head. Again, these people get the big head. They think that it's them doing this. They think that it's them who is causing this massive upgrade. So what do? Their ego and the narcissism kicks in and they leave. Just like that, boom. Because they think it's them. They think the glow up is them. They really think the glow up is them. But really, the glow up was because you came into their life. So what happens? They feel like they got the juice. They feel like it's them. And they go out into the world and they try to spread their wings with other people. And what happens? Those wings get clipped. Again, those wings get clipped. And they come back to reality to really understand that it was you the whole time. So when they come back from that high of being a 10, 9, 8 to a 4, 5, 6, they come back to reality to realize that it was not them, it was you. But now guess what happens? They try to backtrack. They can't backtrack. 2 reasons why they can't backtrack. Number one, the ego won't let them. The ego won't let them apologize. The ego won't let them say, okay, yeah, it might have been them. The ego won't let them do it. Either the ego won't let them say it or the ego won't even let them think it. And another reason is they just know that you're gone. Sometimes certain people in the positions that when their ego gets the best of them and their narcissism gets the best of them, what happens is they not just only leave, but they make it to the point where, but they make it to the point where they could never come back. Again, they make it to the point where they could never, ever come back. And that's the worst part about it. You know, they do something so unrighteous to you because they on this high horse, high on the hog, big in their ego, big on their narcissism, that they ruin connections so much to where they know they can't come back. They know they can't come back. They know it. Deep down inside, they want to. But when they come back to reality, when they come off that high, and they come down and they say, oh, shit, I can't come back no more. I done did too much. Just because they thought the grass was green on the other side because they thought they had the juice. They ain't had the juice. You had the juice. You had the sauce. It was all you the whole time. That's just really what it is. There we go. 4 reasons why people think the grass is green on the other side after they're dealing with a chosen one. It's simple. You know, sometimes the chosen ones, we're not all glamorous. We're not all exciting. Sometimes we may be boring, whatever the case may be, you know. But that don't mean that people can do you wrong. That don't mean that. That don't mean that you're not an exciting person. That don't mean that you don't have nothing going for yourself. No, that don't mean that. Like I say, sometimes blessings can come in many various different forms. And certain people just have to recognize that. And you have to recognize that as well, you know. So don't let the way that people treat you dictate how you feel about yourself. You got to understand, like I always say, you are a blessing brought in people's lives. And sometimes people fumble blessings. And sometimes people don't learn lessons from the blessing until the blessing leaves. Again, sometimes people don't learn lessons from the blessing until the blessing leaves. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. So before I get to rambling, I appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. Y'all want to talk about anything, please let me know. I got a little bit of time on my hands, or else I'm going to just click off. Enjoy the rest of this sun. I got another live I got to do on my other channel. No questions? Anyways, like I said, I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. It's Third Eye Rich. Y'all be safe out there, all right? Love and blessings.